In the City of Angels for a little interconference action here at the Staples Center. The Nets log another stop on their travel schedule in today's matchup. This game's going to be a challenge for them. Facing one of the top-tier teams in the league, they'll have to be at their best to steal a win here.
And I think it's an important game. They only faced this club twice this season, and you mentioned that loss in the first one.
He's checked in for DeAndre Jordan. Pierce comes in for Green. Jamal Crawford, he's checked in for J.J. Redick. And it's Rivers in for Paul. Setting the floor for the Nets. Freak in at power forward. He's out there with Thomas Robinson. Hollis Jefferson is out there with Donald Sloan. And it's Kilpatrick in at the 2. Pass to Hollis Jefferson. Shot clock at 5. Here's Freak. It's hauled in by Los Angeles. Outplayed in the previous game on their schedule, losing to Sacramento.
You know what? A lot of three-pointers, but for me, more so, it was the shot selection on those three-pointers. I just felt like they were just too trigger-happy from downtown.
You know, Greg, sometimes you're able to shoot your way out of a slump, but they just kept making things worse. Sometimes the harder you try, the worse it gets.
Rivers with it. Lets it go with a 3. And it would have counted had it fallen, but it's offline. And as we conclude the first quarter, a one-sided game so far. The Clippers on top. They lead by 13. And we'll be back shortly for the start of the second quarter. And J.J. Redick, a focal point in his tenure with the Duke Blue Devils, both offensively and as a lightning rod for fans.
I think I'll forever be associated with Duke and Duke basketball. And obviously that's a polarizing topic for some people. They like me, some people don't like me. But I take a lot of pride in the fact that I went to school there, I got to play there, and I graduated from Duke.
There's no doubt that he is Mr. Duke, J.J. Redick, and it's hard to argue with that school's incredible success, Greg, whether you like him or not, and I know you've had... We've got 1:23 left here in the second. Yes, fans, Clark, and the one team they view as floppers is the Clippers. I don't like that word, but just kind of came out. Whether that is fair or not is up for debate, but it is certainly, I think, the perception.
And I think there's some truth to that perception. I mean, multiple players have received fines for flopping on their roster. I mean, you can't run away from that, and the fans remember it, too.
Oh, they do, yes, sir. Crawford out there with Pierce. Then there's Austin Rivers. Then there's Cole Aldrich, and it's Paul in at the point guard. So that's the lineup on the floor for the Clippers. So he gets them both.
And for the Clippers and flopping, part of it might just be reputation. Whenever anyone hits the deck on their team, fans might be quick to kind of condemn that as a flop.
And Sloan kicks to Freak. Pierce with the steal. Crawford outside. Wants to get it to Pierce and does. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in. Pierce has got 4 this quarter.
You know, the Clippers were the darlings of the NBA as they improved and made strides, but I think the flopping has kind of diminished that now, that love affair. Being labeled a group of floppers can certainly stifle your popularity.
And he was camped in the lane there, and he gets the 3-second call.
You can't afford to be playing that loose right now.
Definitely not. I mean, things have to be tight. You want to be playing smart, high-level basketball. You don't want to be brain-faced.
A dominating...
Yes, Kevin, I'm here with Blake Griffin, and obviously a high-scoring half for you guys in this one, Blake. What was the key to breaking it open?
It starts on defense. You know, our defense did a good job of getting stops, getting rebounds, getting out.
Come on now, guys. We can get back into this game and take these fans out of it. Let's go through that first half. First thing, we need to run more set plays for our low post guys. We've got to get more scoring inside. Let's set some good screens down low. We made the most of our opportunities in transition. That's another thing. A bunch of times we've made nice, quick outlet passes to start the break, and I want to keep seeing those passes made.
Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter just about to get going here in what has been so far a runaway game. You look at Blake Griffin in this game, he's been everywhere.
Yeah, he's played just a smart game overall offensively, looking for and finding the gaps in the defense, and also terrific shot selection.
Greg, that's exactly what we're talking about when we talk about being efficient as an offensive player. Fully on display there with him.
And for Brooklyn, Henry Sims is checked in for Lopez. Freak comes in for Thaddeus Young. And Hollis Jefferson subbed in for Wayne Ellington. Setting the floor for the Nets. Freak, he's in at the 4 spot. Hollis Jefferson is out there with Jarrett Jack. And then there's Henry Sims. And it's Bogdanovich in at the 3, the small forward. Oh, and here comes Rivers all alone.
And really just straight to the basket with a full head of steam.
Well, if you're going to throw it down, make sure you throw it down with force.
The Nets have gotten 6 of their 12 shots to drop for him here in the second half so far. There's the pass to Bogdanovich. Here's Sims. Here's Hollis Jefferson. Nice ball movement by Brooklyn. And he was camped in the lane there, and he gets the 3-second call.
Boy, Doc Rivers keeps on leading his teams to successful seasons. A former coach of the year rarely has a season where his team doesn't meet expectations.
And the Clippers making a switch here. Crawford's checked in.
Flying high and throwing down the hard one-hander.
One of his favorite moves right there, guys.
And really, he does that one as well as anyone. Kev, you're right. That's like his signature move once he goes airborne.
And it's Freak missing.
You got to give them a lot of credit for the job they've done on the backboards.
They've done a lot of things well today, but really it's about what they've done on the backboard that's at the top of that list.
The Nets shooting 40% from the field. Hollis Jefferson passes to Sloan. Sims dishes to Freak. At the top of the key, Sims. Right wing. Now the feed to Sloan. Hits it from three-point range. 1:30 left in the third. Los Angeles has gone 1 of 2 from beyond the arc since coming out of the break. Picked by Griffin. Here's Rivers. Can't get it to go. So Brooklyn will take it the other way. This game coming after a loss against the Jazz.
Just not a disciplined performance defensively in that game, guys. A lot of silly fouls hurt them throughout.
I think lack of discipline is the right phrase, Greg. I mean, a lot of silly fouls, and they did that even when they were in foul trouble.
Here's Green, finished off the break. Green's got 6 in the quarter. And an important part of every team's game, a look at the hustle stats for the Clippers.
Defensively, they played with a lot of energy, and the steals we've seen are a result of that aggressiveness.
Something that's also benefited them tonight are the turnovers they've forced and the points that have come along with those forced turnovers.
Clock at 4. Hollis Jefferson passes to Kilpatrick. And the foul called on Freak. That's foul number 2 for him.
Yeah, nothing wrong with fighting for the rebound, but he gets nailed with the over-the-back call.
And, Greg, you know I was...
Aldridge. Green comes in for Paul Pierce. J.J. Redick's checked in for Jamal Crawford. And Chris Paul subbed in for Austin Rivers. Chris Paul and J.J. Redick are the guards. Inside, it's Griffin and Jordan, and it's Green in at the small forward. So that's the lineup on the floor for the Clippers.
And he is the ultimate when it comes to being a floor leader on the offensive end.
Yeah, you know, he's got a little bit of Greg Anthony in him, and he has been that leader today. I think he's done a really nice job of moving the ball and distributing it the way it needs to be done.
Well, Clark, I'm glad you referenced specifically why you thought he had a little Greg Anthony. I thought you were talking about my knees, my man, 'cause he looked a little hobbled out there for a moment.
Outside Griffin. We've played just over 3.5 minutes now in the fourth quarter. To the inside, Jordan. Boom, he jams it straight down. That gives him the double-double. 10 points and 14 rebounds.
Now, that was an incredible reverse throwdown right there. Tremendous body control.
I'd even go as far to say, Clark, that was a punctuation dunk. Huh?
I can feel that.
Sending a message.
How about,
sir.
guys, that's one of those dunks that you probably want in your career highlight reel.
And their solid play in the paint continues, guys.
And that's been their focus, it seems, throughout the game. I like the discipline that they've showed in terms of creating those opportunities on the inside.
Paul is doubled. The drive by Green, and he gets it to go.
He has created some terrific opportunities for himself and really made the most of it.
Nets have gotten just under 45% of their attempts to drop in the fourth. 4 of 9. Freak kicks to Sims. To the paint, here's Freak. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Well, we all know that #1 overall picks are incredibly valuable. I mean, they can change the course and face of an entire franchise. Last season, the playoffs were full of teams that featured #1 overall picks.
And guys, teams with the #1 overall pick tend to go very deep in the playoffs. Just the nature of how the NBA lottery and rebuilding structure works.
Yeah, and in the playoffs last season, every team in the conference semis but one had a #1 overall pick on their roster, so that one team was the Grizzlies.
Picked by Griffin. To the wing right side. The fader. And it's Freak with the rebound.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open. And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Clippers.
Agreed, Steve, and as one-sided as it gets today, you know, Clark, there were some dominant moments in about every facet of this game for that team.
You're right, Kevin. It's hard to think of anything that didn't go right for them. I mean, game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was spot on.
And so now, on the year, they'll have 35 wins to their credit.
Really, they had their number this season. 2 wins, a home win, and an away win.
Yeah, you know, I thought the result might be a little different this time around, but clearly I was mistaken. And now they'll have to wait till next year for a shot at revenge.
And when you look back at this one,
So the Clippers winning this one easily. They poured it on tonight, Clark, a dominant showing in front of a crowd that loved every minute of it.
Chris, how does a win like this help propel the team at this point in the schedule?
Hopefully it gives us a little momentum. We got a tough stretch coming up. We got our back-to-back next week, so hopefully it just gives us a little momentum.
It was a pretty good start, Chris. Thank you. Kevin, back to you.
Doris, thank you as always. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, Clark Kellogg, and the rest of our terrific 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. Now we'll go to the studio with the award-winning Ernie Johnson.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Welcome back, Ernie Johnson, along with Shaq and Kenny the Jet. Let's quickly move forward now to the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Chris Paul.
I can't imagine a player having a better night from the field than he had tonight. His shooting percentage was off the charts. He used every trick in the book to get those high percentage shots. He shot from every direction, and there was a little bit of luck here.